guys, and welcome back to another episode of
And on that note,
that was fun. So,
on my post.
Yeah, that was dope.
I'm thinking.
Can you guys hear me? I just put my headphones in.
Daphne, I'm doing this for you.
Oh, thanks, sis. Yeah, man. Just, I think I even said it towards the end of our last call. I was just like, we've got to just live our best lives, guys.
That's it. Literally, you just have to live every day like it's the last.
Yeah.
Not to sound so, sort of down on things, but we really do.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And that's why I'm just like, let me cut my hair. It will grow back.
And that's the thing, like, if that's what you want to do,
just do it.
That's I've kind of come to that conclusion. If you want to do something and it's not obviously harmful to you or anyone else, enjoy your life. Do what you want to do. We take so much time, like, trying to, I don't know, like, aspire to some random made up rule, and most of the time we make up the guidelines and we make it up for ourselves.
No, like, I can totally relate. You see, like, today now, obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen my Instagram post yet, but like, I posted my YouTube thumbnail, whatever.
I actually haven't seen it yet.
And I was actually battling with myself back and forth thinking, but what if people think like, there's a movement going on and you're here promoting YouTube? But I thought, listen, I cannot live my life in this war. Like, I know this movement is going on, but it's been going on, and that has never stopped me from posting what I wanted to post. So why should I let that now stop me from posting what I want to post?
Yeah.
I'm literally going back and forth with myself, but I can't live like that. That's how you create anxiety for yourself and all these fears. Like, nah, I can't live like that.
I think for me, I'm one of those people that, like, I'll always kind of be like, I guess, what's the word? Sensitive to everything that's going on. Like, we're human beings, like, I would, and we've seen it. So you have to be sensitive. But of course, like you say, you can't, like, now be like, well, I have to just only post things about this and blah blah blah. So we weren't living before.
That's it. That's
like,
it. You just have to have a good
and I think it comes down to what's in your heart. Because obviously, if I was like, oh, you're posting it because you're trying to distract from the movement, and like, as in, if that was your intention, of course, we could all be like, no, that's wrong. Like, but that's not your intention. Like,
no.
So what?
And I've seen a post that also says, like, just because some people aren't actively posting on social media doesn't mean that they're not actively doing things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
I think part of our last conversation, we were saying stuff like, oh, what do we do? Like, what can we do, or what should we do, or what have we done? And like, I don't know, I think everybody, that's a question for themselves. But I know I can sit here, I can literally sit here, because I was thinking about it, because I was asking myself, and I said, hold on, Daph, you do loads, okay? But the thing is, you don't talk about it, so you don't even know within yourself, like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, no, I do loads. Like, I know I have conversations. Literally, this podcast itself, to me, is furthering of just black people and black. We're having conversations about various topics that involve black people. Like, this is something itself. And so I was like,
listen,
okay,
it's
something.
a movement in all areas of our lives. Like, we are the ones experiencing this, so of course we are going to be talking about it and advocating for it. Like, in everything that we do, we don't need to be screaming it from the rooftops, but we are doing something.
And that's the thing. There are people that are screaming it from the rooftops, posting all sorts of posts and everything. But when it comes down to it, after that, are they going to do anything that actually makes a difference? And I think that's what it comes down to. We can all do what we can do, but nobody should put pressure on anyone to do something a certain way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because that's what creates more of a division amongst us, as if to say there's not already a big division.
Exactly. And I was speaking to someone and they were like, we need everybody to do everything. So we need the protesters, we need the people to motivate on social media. We need the people in the businesses speaking up. We need the people that are donated. You need every facet of the movement. So like, nobody is indispensable, and nobody is not helpful. Everything that everybody's doing is valid and useful and helpful. So that was it.
But honestly though, I still don't agree with those that have taken the stance to just ignore it, and still be silent about it.
No, do you know, like,
you know, I just don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think it has to be. I think even if you're having,
it makes me feel so uncomfortable.
conversation,
It literally makes my skin crawl in it. Like, it's terrible.
even if it's your children, like, at least you're doing something. You know.
Do you know what I've noticed as well? I don't know if you guys have seen it. Like, a lot of these influencers and social media personalities who have maybe once upon a time said, you black beep and you black this and you black that, and now they're posting all the Black Lives Matter, Blackout Tuesday, blah blah blah, and then they're being called out about, excuse me, weren't you the same person that called me this the other day?
Oh really?
And I get like, people do change and people do deserve a second chance. But for me, I believe, like, whatever is in your heart is what is going to come to light. Like, and if it was only the other day, sorry, mute yourself, just be quiet. And I'd rather them just not say nothing at all, because to me it comes across a little bit as, I don't want to say fake, but you're just following the trends and you're saying something so people can't prove that you are actually what you are. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I should say the fact that they're posting it is still good. I don't know. I don't know. If it's not, I feel like if it's not genuine, just don't do it at all. Don't
I
jump
agree.
on the bandwagon. Don't do it just for the sake of, if it's really not in your heart and you really do not believe this, then don't do it. Have you guys seen the video of the young girl arguing with her dad? He's got a racist attitude. Yeah.
Her mom and her dad, right?
Yeah. And the dad's like, shut up, sit down.
Yeah.
But that's what we need.
Wait, are you talking about the white girl?
It's on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But she just didn't let up.
She was not having
but
it.
you know what broke my heart
like,
for her? You could see there was at one point when they weren't getting it. She was on the brink of tears. And like, I just really felt for her, and I was like, sis, stay strong. Like, keep speaking.
Because it's hard when it's your parents.
It's hard. Like,
it's hard.
It's so hard.
I felt for her. Like, I was just like, and she wouldn't let up, and she was like, literally, they came with their stats. She came with her stats.
Yeah.
And I was just like, do you know what? But how? Like, there's so many people that literally have that same situation where you're dealing with a mindset that is old, that is outdated, that is based on, I don't know, whatever experience or whatever, and they're just like not trying to see it for what it is. And I felt bad for her to a degree, but obviously I felt proud of her, because I was just like, you know better, and you're doing the hard thing about trying to talk to your parents. Like, you know, it's not easy to talk to people older than you, and that people that you respect, and people that you're supposed to even have set as an example for you. So I think she did a very good job, and I just hope that she still has that tenacity and drive to just keep pushing beyond her immediate family, because I'm sure if that's
and even her parents as well, just to even say, oh, this is the type of conversation we had with her, like, listen up, that might even touch somebody else in there.
But I'm sure it will trigger something. I'm sure you've all been this. You know how parents are, though. Like, I'm not talking about racism now, but I'm talking about generally. You know, there's so many times I've had conversations with my parents, and that at that time they're just like, no. Then they'll later come back to you and be like, well, actually, I thought about what you said. So I'm just hoping it ignites something in them where they start to begin, the wheels of change at least begin to start turning in their minds, where they can be like, okay, well, now that we've reflected, maybe
made a point.
Because there's I was speaking to one of my colleagues today, because I saw a video by Hassan Minaj. He's this Asian comedian. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah. It's quite a long one.
Yeah, but it was so good, because he was calling the Asian community into action, and I was like, yes, thank you for being real, because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but like, in my experience, you know, the Asian community, like the young people our age, they're quite cool. You know, you can make friends with them, but those that I've been able to have frank conversations with have been very, you know, since, like, they've been quite matter of fact about the fact that their parents and their culture are not a fan of black people.
Yeah,
they're like, and not just outsiders. They literally,
it takes it back to, remember our episode about my friend with the pregnancy and yada yada yada. She was black, he was Asian. That's why it was such a big deal. So
so it was literally like a hierarchy in their own caste system, let alone for black people. And he was talking about how they even make fun of their own people when they're dark skinned. And so that
is like a big thing in like India. It's a massive market. So
massive. And he was showing like the bleaching creams and products that they use and stuff. So I was just thinking that he made it was good, because I think so many people can jump on the bandwagon and be like, and be like, but do you challenge the mindsets and the conversations that happen in your community? Or do you just sit there and just listen and nod?
Take it on the chin.
Take it on the chin. It's like, oh, that's just how they are. Or do you actively try to change the narrative and the mindset? So it was good. I think it was good to call it out. So.
Definitely. And I think that's what we need to do. Start calling things out. If something makes you like, so yesterday, you know how like I've been receiving those parcels from the government, it's becoming too much. So I've been giving it to like my next door neighbor in front of me. And then yesterday he was like, oh, Danielle, thank you so much. I'm going to give this to my Colombian friend's son. They are they're half Jamaican, you know, they're half caste. And I thought, ooh, what did you say? And I had to call him up about it. I had to say, like, no, George, that word doesn't exist no more. It is mixed race. What is half caste? Like, I actually had to school him. But obviously, I know he didn't mean it in an offensive way. And he's old school as well. He's from Cyprus. But he's like, he actually said, thank you so much, Daniel, for bringing this to light, because I could have gone somewhere else and offended someone. I could have even offended them by calling them half caste. I literally shook and I thought, no, I can't let that go.
No, well done. Well done.
So it's definitely about calling these things out, not just taking it on the chin, sitting back and think, I know it's not right, but I will leave them to think what they think. No, we need to do something.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are open to receiving that education or that enlightenment, like as long as it's delivered in the right way. But I think a lot of the time, not a lot of the time, sometimes when you try and deliver a message aggressively, like I think it can fall on deaf ears. So I always think it's important to like acknowledge the tone. And I think, I don't know, I think everybody has their own perspective. Like I've seen a couple of messages online around, we're not obligated to teach you, go find in your history books, go, you know, there's plenty of information out there, Google it for yourself, etc.
There's nothing wrong
with that. But then I was just kind of like, but if someone genuinely doesn't know where to start and they're asking me, I'm not going to push them away and tell them go and Google it. Do you know what I mean?
Like because the woman in your DM in it, she was like, she wants to be able to like know how to approach this. So it's the way you responded was good.
Since our last episode, I've been having conversations with people every single day. Literally, I just had one today as well, with different white people, different white women, mothers, wives, whatever, and they just want to talk. They don't know what to say. The conversation I had today was basically around, she just literally said that she doesn't have the words to say. She doesn't know what to say. She's in fear of saying the wrong thing. And I was like, you know, it's better to just come out with what you're saying. I'm here to listen. I'm not going to be offended. I'm not going to, I don't hold any malice against you. I don't hold any grudges, whatever. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it. And if it's something that you're saying that needs correcting or needs educating or whatever it is, I'm here to help you. I'm here to do that. I just wanted to, you know, open up my platform and my space individually to be able to do that for people, because I feel like so many of them want to say something. They're just so scared to say the wrong thing. And it brings them to being like, I'm not going to say anything then, if that's the case. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to use my voice. I'm not going to use my platform. Like some of these people have platforms of like 200,000 or 20,000, or even if it's just 500 people, but they have a platform and they have things that they have the ability to use their voice. And the girl I was talking to today, she was saying that her mum raised her to treat everyone equal, and she's never been you know, like in a situation where she's thought of someone differently to her because of the teachings that her mum gave her. And I've known her for a really long time, and as soon as we met, I instantly didn't feel judged by her, didn't feel any way by her at all. We just got on. We literally just clicked and we just got on, and that was it. And we've been friends ever since, for 6 years. So I was just like, I'm here to talk to you about it, babe. Like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. We can talk about it.
And I feel like some people are afraid to like reach out to us or ask questions because, you know, there's that stereotype of the angry Black woman. So they're afraid to like step on our toes because it's such a sensitive topic, which I get, but where did that stereotype even derive from? I actually think it kind of came from Black men, like our Black men.
You think our black men gave us that stereotype?
So. Yeah, I think, like, have you seen the John Boyega video of him
in
protesting?
The park?
How to treat women.
Down. Yeah. About
Sorry, can I just interject?
Chime in, sis. Chime in.
Hi, George.
Chime in.
Hi.
No, I haven't
Sorry that I
seen
was
that
late.
video.
Just interject. So you know what you were saying about your white friend Annette, about obviously like you being friends with her, etc., never feeling any way like how she's treated you and vice versa.
Yeah.
I completely get that because I've got white friends who are in the same boat as me as well. But I think the point is, I don't know what you guys were speaking about before, obviously, because I was late. But I think what white people fail to understand is that they do have a privilege. I think that's what they fail to understand. So it's not a case of that there is like they don't even have to be racist, because like I said, I've got friends who are white, but what they don't understand is the extra work that you have to do as a black person and the extra work you have to do as a black woman. I don't think, and I think they try to be like, I was raised the right way, and it's true. You can be raised the right way. You can have all of these things. You can have black friends. Your best friend, your best friend can be black. It doesn't matter, because you still would never get it. And there was something. There's like a poster that was, again, I don't even know if I'm even speaking on the right term based on what you guys were talking about. But there was a poster where it said something about. I would never understand like kind of what you've been through, but I'm going to stand with you. And I think it's easier. I think I respect it more when they don't make it seem like, oh no, but I understand. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I think when they are like that, then it's kind of like, but you don't understand. Like it's you just don't get it.
Yeah. But that was her perspective. That was her perspective completely. Her perspective was, I will never understand what you what you are going through or what you have been through, because I don't have your skin color. I'm not the same color as you. I don't have the same experiences as you. But she also acknowledged the fact that she did let me know that like this is how she was raised individually as a person. She understands that there's justice here. She understands that it won't be the same as like her going through what I'm saying to her, or she'll never get the experience. But I'm saying in her saying that, and in her being open with me about that, and in me even having a platform to be open with her to have this conversation, has made it a little bit easier to move on with her and acknowledge what she knows, and she also acknowledges what I know. So
and I guess it's just the little things as well. Like, I mean, let's just say, for instance, me and myself and every one of you guys were working in the same place. I'm a white female, you guys are black. We do exactly the same thing, exactly the same amount of work, but one day I come into the office and I'm given a bonus of 10k or a job promotion. I would expect for you all to receive the same bonus or the same promotion, but because you are of a different race, you haven't got or received that same promotion. So I feel like people think it's just, oh, your race is against me because you said this and black. No. It happens everywhere in every day. Like, I think I've actually encountered that. Someone's done exactly the same thing as me. Being a female in a workplace is already hard. Being a black female makes it even worse. Like, we've been doing exactly the same thing, and this person has gotten a increase in their bonus, and I'm thinking, sorry, I know I do bloody well better than that person does, so where's my bonus? Why did it just skip me? And I think a lot of us are sometimes afraid to use our voice and challenge our managers and say, oh, but, well, I have been anyways, I would never say anything, but now, oh, y'all gonna hear this voice. Like, I would have,
to be fair,
back in the days, I would have left it. I would have never challenged
to be fair,
it, but now I definitely
never ever been scared to challenge anything. Like, if I feel like I'm due something, I know I'm due something, because I think I personally know my worth, and I know the value that I bring to any, whether it's an organization, a workplace, whatever, I know the value that I bring to it. So if it's a case of you're paying, like if it's about pay, then best believe I would have dealt with that already. Like, and I'm not saying that there's not injustice in the sense of that I could potentially be, let's say, losing out to a male counterpart, for example. I get that, But
Yeah,
I
no.
think it's up to you to, if you know what the, like, you know what you bring to the business or whatever, then I think you can kind of suggest things as well. If any of you guys have had this, but I've been like kind of following a lot of companies, and just trying to see if they're releasing any statements about this whole, not even necessarily Black Lives Matter, but almost just acknowledging what's been going on, rather than kind of turning a blind eye to it. And I've seen like some companies have kind of like, they've had to be prompted by their black employees or their black colleagues to kind of say like, oh, are you guys not going to maybe say anything, or is there going to be a statement released or anything like that, just to kind of put to ease your, you know, especially like your ethnic minority workforce? Is there anything you have to do? And from my point of view, I just feel like, I don't know if it's just ignorance, but I don't see why it should have to take a black person to kind of raise that point to an organization, to kind of say, oh, maybe you should put out a statement like this, for example, or just kind of put your employees at ease. I don't know whether it's something that, I personally don't think it's something that we should necessarily be responsible for, because they read the media, they read the news, they hear the news. I don't understand why we need to kind of spoon feed you again exactly how we should be treated, or the equality that we should receive.
Yeah. So to I guess going back to Danielle's point around the pay kind of example, like I was kind of thinking, like, I guess, and to Georgina's point as well, I think a lot of the time when white people are like, oh, I don't know what to say, or, you know, like, I will never understand, I think that's where we're looking for that ally.
To chime in.
It's because I think a lot of the time what black people are saying is that acknowledge your privilege and then be an ally for the change and the rectifying of the situation. So in Danielle's example, if there's a white person that is aware of the fact that I'm literally among the same people on my same level, same pay grade, they're doing the exact same job, and I'm the only one that got a bonus, and I can see that very clearly, the only difference between me and those individuals is that I'm white and the rest of them are black. That's what we're saying, is you have a responsibility to kind of say, okay, that's fine, but shouldn't my counterparts also get a bonus or a pay rise because they're doing an equally good job? Do you know what I mean? And it's not always being, calling out and be like, oh, you guys are all racist. That's not what we're looking for, but just calling out some of those inequalities, and to when you see them happening, and not be afraid to almost put yourself on the line, because I think somebody's like, oh, but I'm benefiting from this. And I think that's what a lot of the time black people are always annoyed about. It's like, well, you're benefiting, so you haven't said anything, so it's okay as long as you're benefiting from the situation. And then I think similarly to Georgina's point around kind of calling out something when you're aware of it, or speaking up when you feel that you're deserving of something. I just wanted to say, like, also it's the responsibility of like organizations, and that's where a lot of the issues have arisen, is when there have been clear pay gaps. So there's one argument around gender pay gaps, which I know has been very much highlighted in the media, but a lot of the thing that doesn't talk about but has been proven is that there's a lot of disparity between pay amongst different races, and I think there's gaps in races as well. So, and a lot of those times we're not aware of those things because you won't have the visibility of HR records to know when there's been pay gaps. So I think a lot of the time that's where people are like, people in HR or who do have those visibility, again, when it's not affecting you, or you feel like, oh, you know, something I don't want to talk about, I don't want to make a fuss, or you know, that's where we're saying you need to be an ally. So that's where I think people are calling that out and saying, don't just say, oh, black square, oh, I support. Actually support when you're in a position to do. Otherwise it's kind of meaningless. And then finally, to when Georgina was talking about those companies having to be prompted, you know, I think we touched on it in our last conversation, but I think from my experience, I think what I've been seeing is that a lot of the companies that have said something is because maybe they have offices or are global companies where they've got business in America, so they feel like, oh yeah, that's our American colleagues, so then they just make a global or company-wide statement. But I think the UK based companies, or maybe those that don't have a tie to America, I think they very much see it as, oh, this is an American issue, you know, UK is absolved of this issue, this is not something that we really experience here. And I think what the shame is that they don't recognize the links and the ties between the situation, and actually how there's a lot of connection between what goes on in this country not necessarily around death in police custody, even though there has been shown to be deaths in police custody in the UK, but around just general discrimination, inequalities and injustice, and how those are all linked. So I think, you know, it's important that people recognize that it's all linked. And I think a lot of the companies that have just not clocked on, and I shouldn't say they haven't clocked on, they're unwilling to be open to the fact that it's all linked together.
Parents, like my stepdad, he has a company, and his company has factories in America, and one of them is in Louisiana. So I've had a conversation with him, and I've had to talk to him about, not had to, but I wanted to talk to him about, is there something that they're going to say, or is there a plan, or do they have are they aware of what's happening, you know, in the world and what they're doing? Because I know for him, it's literally like a 6 a.m. job until 7 p.m, dinner at 8, bath at 9, bed. So for him, as a CEO, I don't even know if he knows what's going on in the world, to be honest, because that's just how he is, unless I bring it to his full-blown attention. Just like my mum, she calls me if she needs my help. So I had to put myself forward and be like, okay, we're family here. This is what's happening. It would be great. Yeah, but I understand that you have to go back with your board and your members and your team and have discussions and have talks and figure out what kind of statement to put out and figure out how you're going to do this and do your research and all this kind of stuff, because they are central to this kind of thing. And even him going to visit his own factories, he's experienced it himself. He's had conversations with colleagues. He's called it out when he goes there. He speaks to white people about it. He doesn't condone it himself. But that doesn't mean to say that the other colleagues don't, or the other people who pass in the factory, or the other people who live around the factory, or the other communities and stuff. So him doing his part is a big thing. Them doing their part as a company is also a big thing. ASOS, what are they saying?
I'm only joking. They said, they've written, "We are anti-racist. We've been taking this time to listen and understand how ASOS can make positive changes from within the company, which reflect our promise to change the behaviors and structures that oppress Black people." Ooh, very specific. I love specific statements. I hate these wishy-washy, this wishy-washy. Do you know who I've been really disappointed in as a brand? And I'm really sad? Zara.
Who is it?
Zara.
Why are you disappointed? When you go
Zara's
to the store,
Spanish.
what do you see, Daphne?
Aren't they Italian? I thought they were Italian.
They're a Spanish brand.
Are they Spanish?
What they are.
Yeah.
The own staff that work in there. Do you know? I hate how Zara staff treat me.
But I'm sad because I like the clothes. So now I just feel like, I see
I'm not
how you
shopping
really
there
feel.
again.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Nah.
Oh, but yeah, I'm really disappointed because, and not only disappointed, but their statement is the most wishy-washy. It just says we are equality or some shit like that. I was just like, shut up.
Bollocks.
But they haven't posted since. So I'm literally like, please prove me wrong. Like, please let this be a time when you're thinking about actually how to be impactful. Like, because if that's it, so it's actually very disappointing. It's a shambles. George is here. Go on with what you're saying,
what was I saying? Yeah, so he knows that it's gonna take a minute. He knows that. But yeah, I just thought I'd say that because we were saying George mentioned about she doesn't understand why we need to like spoon feed you again. You know, and I get it. I do get it. I don't feel the reason to be like, okay, well, this is happening and I'm gonna force you to do something, or I'm gonna push you to do something, but myself personally, I'm gonna encourage what I can encourage. And if it's my family, I'm gonna encourage them to do the right thing. Because I have a responsibility to do that in my home. That's for me and my home. But yeah. So
I agree.
Thanks for listening to another episode of And on that note, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, your aunties, your uncles, your sisters, and the whole shambaz. Thank you. Bye.